didn't understand what happened, but after that, when we met some our representatives from the embassy, they said it's the same day as we arrived. It was distributed in the mass media articles that we are accused that we are armed dealers, came to country to do the coup, and we training some military people and trafficking arms. This total nonsense. We were totally shocked because we are very famous company, representative for two companies that doing the most big business in 12 African countries for agriculture and mining. And this is the purpose that we came to Democratic Republic of Congo. So after that, we understood that we became huge victims of wrong information supplied from somewhere to the security services of Democratic Republic of Congo about our arms dealing or about some other accusations. And we came to a situation that without explanation, all days we had to go through cross-checking, security questions, different interview with the different security agencies that they trying to understand who we are we trafficking arms, or we are different businessmen. So they, in detention center, we spent almost 12 days without any phone connection, without any our opportunity to have anybody to defend us. So they cross-checking us because of this information that we became victims of this wrong, totally shocked information that was distributed in the mass media about us. So after all these ways that we get through in detention center, after all cross-checking and all questions that was done, it was prepared a big report that we are totally cleared by 4 security agencies of Democratic Republic of Congo, that we don't have nothing to do with any arm trafficking, that we don't have nothing to do with any training activity, that we are legal agricultural businessmen that came for agriculture and mining projects like we do in any other African countries to Democratic Republic of Congo. When they finalize their cross-checking and all the security questions and all these procedures, we were released today in the morning with a full explanation that it was totally cleared by all agencies of security of Democratic Republic of Congo, and we are welcome to do any business in Democratic Republic of Congo if you want, because now we're fully cleared, and these victims of wrong information is totally taken out from us, and we are ready to be investors in Congo, and we are well. This was the message when they release us finally today. So what I want to do is a press statement that all these 12 days, it was only we were victims of this wrong information that was specially distributed in the mass media, and articles about our armed dealers came exactly in the day when we landed in Lubumbashi. So it means it was prepared before, they waiting us, and somebody gave this wrong information that we became victims. Now we're free, we released, without any allegations, without any problems. We cleared of 4 agencies. We can say they did a professional big job, even how hard it was for us, but they check everything. Now this situation, we want to give this information to mass media, what happened with us in Democratic Republic of Congo. Mr. Paolo Persico wants to add something. Please, Paolo.
Yes, thank you also from my side for giving us the opportunity to explain this very sad adventure that we went through. If you don't mind, I would like to make my statement in Italian in order also to give full clarity to my country media and press, if you don't mind. Come ha detto Alex Zingman, siamo arrivati in Congo il giorno 18 a Lubumbashi per iniziare degli incontri per finalizzare degli affari nell'ambito dell'agricoltura nella provincia di Lubumbashi. Non era la prima volta che andavamo in Congo per questo motivo. Abbiamo incontrato diverse personalità, sia a Kinshasa che a Lubumbashi, sia governativi che non governativi. Una volta arrivati ci hanno fermato, come ha spiegato anche il signor Zingman, all'inizio con dei pretesti abbastanza anche non capibili, poi man mano la situazione è andata un po' a deteriorare. Il giorno dopo ci hanno portato a Kinshasa, rinchiusi in un centro di detenzione della sicurezza nazionale. Lì abbiamo passato praticamente 12 giorni. Ogni giorno siamo stati interrogati separatamente per controllare tutte le nostre deposizioni. Ogni giorno ci hanno fatto sempre nuove domande. Da quanto ne sappiamo, tutte le persone che abbiamo incontrato nel Congo sono state chiamate per confermare le riunioni che hanno avuto con noi. Tutto è stato confermato e alla fine ci hanno chiamato e ci hanno detto che risultiamo totalmente estranei alle accuse mosse all'inizio durante il nostro arrivo. Come ha detto il signor Zingman, sicuramente è stato frutto di un'azione orchestrata contro di noi, probabilmente perché nei nostri business nell'Africa non si sa bene perché e da chi abbiamo dato fastidio a qualcuno. Appena arrivati già c'era la notizia dell'arresto di trafficanti d'armi e di altre cose relative a azioni politiche o militari di cui noi siamo totalmente estranei. Naturalmente tutto questo adesso darà seguito da parte nostra ad una azione approfondita di informazioni per capire da che parte sono arrivate queste false informazioni e procedere nelle dovute sedi, nelle azioni legali per difendere i nostri diritti, la nostra immagine, per cui è molto importante per noi imprenditori che giriamo per diversi paesi e procederemo sicuramente in questa direzione. Comunque grazie ancora per il sostegno che ci ha dato in diversi paesi del mondo durante questi giorni e siamo qui a disposizione per qualsiasi domanda.
Thank you, Paolo. Just want to add for this press conference that for ourselves, together with Mr. Paolo, Mr. Oleg, we understand so how to be a victim of non-lawful, without any evidence, information, just to ruin our business portfolio, our names. It's so easy in this world. So using these security services who checked us, after 12 days, don't have any access to any world phones or any information or any people. We were sitting in detention center behind the bars and thinking that sometimes in this world, you have to protect your honest name. You can dream to see your families, to your kids, and sometimes you cannot see them at all, only because of somebody doing victims of wrong information. So we're happy to the God. We're thankful to professionalism of security services of Democratic Republic of Congo. We say sorry for our families, for our kids who are suffering without any information. But I believe the people who distribute this wrong victimization information about us will have finally facing court of law. Thank you very much.
We can now open the press conference for questions.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Bashi, you're welcome to ask your question.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm Wendy Bashi. I'm working for the French department of the Deutsche Welle. I did an article last week about this situation. I have 3 questions for you, Mr. Zingman. When you did your statement, you said that it seems that before you arrive in the Congo, there was like people who was planning something, because the day you arrive in the press, there was article about armed dealing in this country. Can you tell us more? And do you have any idea of who was behind that? The second question is the fact that in some press in the Congo and elsewhere, we have written that you have been in contact with former Congolese President Joseph Kabila. Can you just give us some points about that? And then the last question, do you still have plans to work in agriculture in the Congo? And can you tell us more about that? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your beautiful questions. Question number 1. Information that upon our arrival, somebody waiting us, it was prepared, and the same moment that we arrived in the local press and outside press became information that we are armed trafficking dealers or trainers for some local warriors. This information was spread at the time that we arrived. Nobody asked our passport even to come to the counter. Passport was removed right away upon we entered to the airport. So these details that we experienced with Mr. Persico and Mr. Vucic, it's showing clearly that it was not like action that we came and it started checking on us. Everything was fully prepared. This is understandable from the day number one, and articles about our armed trafficking was distributed the same day. Who did it? We cannot know because we spent behind the bars 12 days before they checking all security agencies about us. But we believe that in the nearest future, this information will be available. And when it will be available, with pleasure, we will do press conference and share if we have this information. But this is everything what I can say for question number one. Maybe Mr. Persico can add something for this.
No, question number one, yes, it was clear that they were waiting for us. When we arrived, I repeat, they started taking immediately the passport, then say yellow fever certificate, never ask in Congo when we come in. And it was clear that it was something that it was already there, waiting for us. A lot of people there. We also saw some people with some photo machine. So I think there were already something prepared to give to the media to say, okay, now we caught some bad guys. That I think it was very clear to us immediately. And then also they started asking also directly if that they knew that we were involved in these things. And then, but immediately we said that we didn't know anything about. So at the beginning, actually, also now I'm laughing because at the beginning you didn't know if to laugh or to cry because you arrive to one place and someone is telling you, "We know you are a armed dealer." From where? For what? We are all in Africa all the time. Everybody knows us exactly for agriculture mainly, and recently also for mining. And it was really a very yes. It was a setup.
Thank you, Mr. Paulo. Question number two, about meeting former President Joseph Kabila. During our cross-checking and all these security agencies questioning and everyday special services did all cross-checking about us separately between each other, different ways. Nobody denied that we met ex-President Kabila 2 times in our previous visit in Congo for only main reason. One time in his farm in Kinshasa, one time in his farm in Lubumbashi, just for biggest agricultural development. He is one of the biggest farmer. It was referred to him by governor of state in Tanganyika because he is one of the biggest farms in DRC. And if we involved in agriculture, one of our customers, we met him 2 times, one in one farm, one in another farm. All our technical team prepared a full proposal and their negotiation, what we can do for development his farms. This was telling them at the beginning, nobody say anything. So this is yes, we made him for agricultural business in 2 farms that we visited together with our technical team and his technical team. It's not only visit of ex-President Kabila farms. It also was many other companies that we visited in Congo, and also did the government of Congo 5 minister presentation of all our services in agriculture and mining, and asking for opportunities and receiving companies to whom we can work in Democratic Republic of Congo. It was one of the steps of our activity during our previous visits to Democratic Republic of Congo. This is answering question number 2.
I would like to add one details in this question. Actually, they weren't aware of our meeting with the former President Kabila. We told them when they asked the list of meetings that we have done in DRC, we told them about our meeting with the former president. They didn't even know about it. So that is the one reason more that everything was set up before, and they just got the wrong people. President Kabila, we are not politically involved in no one of the countries that we are working. President Kabila surely is one of the biggest businessmen in DRC. And sometimes you have also to meet him if you want to do some business with some of his company. But we met the Minister of Agriculture. We met a lot of state-owned company. We met with the Minister of Transport. We met with governors. We met even with other private entities. So for us, it's a 360 degrees. We are not there choosing who yes, who not, unless they are criminals. But in this case, must have a certified as a criminal people. Otherwise, why not?
Mr. Paolo Prosecco, we have a question from an Italian journalist.
Yes.
Rizzoni. You can find the question in the chat, where I encourage the journalist to come off of mute and ask the question directly, please.
Yes, please, because here is the what can I say? All the devices are not well synchronized.
Yes. So, Mr. Redazzoni, please, you can come off the mute and ask your question directly to Mr. Paolo. While we wait, we have another question that was a follow-up question on when was the previous visit to when the previous visit.
Before I answer this question, I have a third question to Bashir about agribusiness in DRC. I don't want to skip any question. We want in this press conference answer all questions that you will ask us. So let me please, if you allow me, finish to answer question number 3 that was asked before. Question: are you willing or are you planning to do agro-business or mining activity in DRC after what happened? I'm answering this question: yes, we are willing and we will do business in DRC like with any other countries, because we are a real prominent businessman, and our business is to do business, not to involve in any problems. Even if we became victims of this wrong information and 12 days in detention center to check our personality, now we like a glass of crystal. We totally screened by 4 most different security services in Democratic Republic of Congo, and all of them admit that we are real businessmen. We don't have nothing to do with this wrong information. We cleared and we welcome to do business for benefit of Democratic Republic of Congo and for benefit of people of Democratic Republic of Congo. Answering this question: yes, for sure. We are planning to do agribusiness in DRC and mining business in DRC, no matter what happened with us, especially if we clear now as a real business. Thank you for this question.
Maybe the last question: when was the 2 previous visit when you did Kabila in farm?
One visit was last year, one visit was this year. It was one farm in Kinshasa, one farm in Lubumbashi. It only was 2 meetings in the farm, 30 minutes with Mr. Kabila, and around 1.5 hours with his technical team to assess the farm activities and what development we need.
Okay, I think James Nova wanted to ask a question.
Sorry.
Thank you, sir. So it is for Mr. Persico.
Yes.
Maybe I can ask it. Avete avuto contatti con l'ambasciata farnesina? Qual è stato il loro ruolo?
Sì, abbiamo ho avuto contatti con l'ambasciata italiana a Kinshasa. Sono venuti a trovarmi 3 volte, 4 volte. Loro hanno condotto le loro trattative diplomatiche. Ci hanno anche portato dei vestiti, ci hanno portato anche delle medicine antimalariche. Poi nel periodo che sono stato detenuto, sfortunatamente ho preso anche la malaria, ma con questi nuovi medicinali sono riuscito a non entrare, diciamo, nella malattia vera e propria, ma l'ho superata abbastanza bene. Sì, sono state presenti nei limiti delle attività che potevano fare nei confronti di queste agenzie. Perché, come diceva Mr. Zingman, noi siamo stati detenuti praticamente dei servizi di sicurezza nazionali della Repubblica Democratica del Congo, per cui anche in posti non facilmente accessibili, nemmeno dalle ambasciate. Da quanto ne sappiamo, anche le ambasciate che sono venute a trovarci delle volte dovevano aspettare delle ore per vederci. Però sì, sono venuti, se non ricordo male, almeno 4 volte a trovare.
Okay, we have another question coming from Mrs. Sue, I see on here. Feel free to ask your question.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for allowing me to ask the question. My name is Susan, and I'm with Agence France Presse AFP. I just wanted to find out why the choice of Zimbabwe as your first destination after you were released.
Thank you for this question, Susan. Because our next trip after Lubumbashi was scheduled to Harare, and it's revealed in our flight itinerary. We're supposed to have a close business discussion in Zimbabwe even after Lubumbashi. It's number one. Number two, when we were released with or after all this security checking, we want to continue our business. Nothing happened with us. They want to check our personality. They check it. They understand who we are, and we continue our business according to our itinerary that was set before, to continue our meeting and continue our regular business activity for agriculture and mining that was scheduled previously in Africa. So we're showing that we're not escaping anywhere. We continue our business activity that was planned before. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And if you can also clarify, you are the Zimbabwe honorary consul at the Zimbabwe embassy in Belarus. Is that so? I'm not very clear about that.
Yeah, it's also absolutely right. I am honorable consul of Zimbabwe in the Republic of Belarus, and I'm holding this diplomatic status.
Thank you so much.
Okay, perhaps now we can turn to asking questions of anyone that's currently in the room with you at this time.
Please.
We have been.
This time you were going to.
Please louder, so I think they want to.
You're going to DRC on the agricultural business. Social media saying that you're going to meet. Like he said, you meet him two previous visits, but in this particular visit, were you supposed to meet him?
Thank you for this question. Absolutely good question. We're supposed to meet Moise Capent from the Agricultural Foundation. This was our purpose of visit, because before it was 3 technical meetings with this foundation, and purpose of our visit right now to Democratic Republic is visit this biggest agricultural foundation in Lubumbashi, honored by Moise Capent. And Mr. Moise Capent was meeting us at the airport to receive us and his foundation to finalize business plan for our investment. So this was a particular reason that we came right now for this business trip. No any other meeting was scheduled. Our arrival time was 12:30, around 1:30 p.m. and departure time next morning. So we planned half of departure time to Harare next morning to continue our trip, 7 o'clock in the morning. So this half of day, we just planned to visit Moise Capent Foundation to finalize our agricultural investment plan and continue our trip to Harare. No other meetings were planned. All other information, it's against speculation or victimization of us. This is number 2. Number 3, what I want to do statement, Mr. Moise Capent was meeting us at the airport for this particular visit, and he was also arrested and detained together with us and sent to Kinshasa to question what is the purpose, are we really come to him, what previous meeting we had to him, what business we conduct into this foundation, what type of equipment, what other things we did with him. So he went through all these security checks together with us in the next, in the same detention center, and he was also released as we are, without any allegation, because they understood that it's real, it's permanent, and it's real business that was conducted in the Democratic Republic. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Zingman, there are also social media reports which are circulating that you also brokered arms deals for Zimbabwe. And when our president visited Belarus, you are the one who invited him to see arms deals companies which manufacture weapons, and you are an ally to President ED, and your most business is to deal with arms. What would be your comment on that?
Thank you very much for this question. Number one, I am Honorable Consul of Zimbabwe in Belarus. So I am the one who conducted business activity between two countries. This is number one. Number two, I'm a businessman that doing agricultural and mining business in many African countries. Number three, I'm not the president of any other country and not the politician to invite president of sovereign country to come to any country. Mr. President Idil Mnangagwa was invited by President of Belarus to visit Republic of Belarus for their bilateral conversation. Because I'm Consul of Zimbabwe in Belarus, I was meeting President Idil Mnangagwa during his official visit. All the agenda of this visit was fully distributed and showing in the media, and I can officially confirm that not even one meeting, not even one military factory or military discussion was done during visit His Excellency President Idil Mnangagwa in the Republic of Belarus. We have a full agenda. If honorable journalist wants to know, I am ready as a consul to share this agenda of this previous meeting, even this happened almost 2 years ago. It was agricultural factory of tractors Belarus. It was logistic factory, MAZ that produced logistic trucks. It was a special farming factory that producing silos and grain machinery. It was a special meetings with the president for political reason. And it was a special meeting for mining, one of the biggest mining factory, Belas, where President Idil Mnangagwa was completely shocked of technology of mining dump trucks, Belas, that produce in the Republic of Belarus for mining activity. And after this visit, it was a big result in Zimbabwe in Wange colliery, working Belas mining trucks. In Zimbabwe, after this visit, in ZCDC, in the Moro Diamond Consolidation Company, working mining dump trucks of company factory Belas to do mining activity. And according to your ministers, it's a very successful, cost-effective mining equipment that's working right now. Also, agricultural tractors right now successfully distributed and working in the field of agriculture of Zimbabwe. And also, service center was built by our company, giving local job to Zimbabweans, providing full service support to Zimbabwe, giving jobs and educational centers for the agricultural people in Zimbabwe. It's also located in Zimbabwe, invested by us. So this is a perfect example why President Idil Mnangagwa came to Belarus and what happened after this visit with the river project in the Republic of Zimbabwe. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? If not, we will finish the conference if we have no other questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time and opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Thank you to everybody.
Следующее идет сейчас интервью. Есть два журналиста, которые там на месте. Олег, вас переправит к ним. Хорошо?
Хорошо.